All right, hi everybody. We're going to continue on with this example with one button and one LED. And now we're going to add another button and a potentiometer. And what this sketch is going to do is we're going to use both buttons to create two separate states that the program can be in. One of the buttons, when you press it, is going to allow you to change the LED brightness with a potentiometer. The other button, when you press it, is going to make it do what it's doing here. It's going to fade up and down. So this is just teaching us how we can get sort of more complexity out of like a few parts. So I'm just going to do this second circuit without explaining it because I explained it in the last video. And now, this first button is in pin 2. I'm going to put the other one in pin 4 because I know that's where we're going. Okay. So now this makes my code work somewhat correctly. And this one, it's fading on and off. I'll show you how this code works in a second. Now I'm just going to put in the potentiometer somewhere out here, out of the way. And now you should probably pause the video and try to remember how to hook up this potentiometer yourself. But if you need another refresher, I'm doing it right now. So the bottom pin, I'm going to go over here, back to ground, the top pin to power, and then the middle pin, it's going to go to A0. Okay, and then if I press this, I can fade this on and off. So this is where we're going. Take it off, nothing happens. We go to blank. I hold this, we fade on and off. Take it off, we go to blank. Okay, so how does this happen? Let's go to our code. Let's go to a blank code. Fade start. Just blank code with nothing happening. Okay, so I'm going to make some variables like we've been doing. Int LED equals 9. And brightness, we're going to need a variable to hold our brightness. And we do need a variable for fade amount. And then a variable for fade, which is going to be our analog read. Okay, so here all we need is a serial.begin to check our serial port. And then here we're going to set up our two buttons. So button 1 equals digital read 2. And remember, a button is a digital input because it can be on or off. int button 2 equals digital read 4. Okay. Now, so let's just check to see if they're both working. Serial.print line button 1. This is really good to do. Check as you go. So a serial monitor, I should see a 0 and a 1. Now I'm going to check the other one. Zero, 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 0, 1. Okay. So I know that both of those inputs are working. So now I probably want to check to see, let's just check in here to see if the analog read is working. This should work. Perfect. So notice that this is a value from 0 to 123. That means that we're going to have to do some mapping. Okay, now I'm going to do things depending on which button I'm actually pressing. So we're going to say if button 1 fade equals analog read A0. So I'm saying if you're clicking on button 1, read that fade value. Yeah, actually read the information from the what's it called, the potentiometer. Okay, and then brightness here is going to be the value that you set the LED with. Okay, and here we need to actually map it because we saw before that the values that we're getting from the potentiometer are 0 to 123. Remember that the values of the LED are 0 to 255. So we're going to say fade 0, 1, 23, 0, 255. So this just shrinks down what you're getting from the pot. Now we're going to write it to our LED. LED, which is on pin 9, and brightness. Okay, so now let's see if it works. Okay, so I'm not showing it because it's difficult to switch back and forth, but you should be able to press the button, and when you press the button and you change the potentiometer, you should see it fading up and down depending. When you let go, it shouldn't yet go all the way down to nothing. That'll come next. And then we're going to say else if button 2, we're checking for button 2. And now we're going to make it auto fade. So this is some similar code that we did in the very first fading example, but now this is just a little bit different. So we're going to make brightness equal brightness plus fade amount. And fade amount here is the speed of the fade. So we set that up at the top. So if you wanted to fade slower, you can give it a bigger number. If brightness is less than or equal to 0, or brightness is greater than or equal to 255. So this is basically saying once you get to 1, either 0 or 255, just reverse yourself. Fade amount equals negative fade. This is just a way of toggling back and forth between two sides, two poles. So we're going to analog right to the LED with this brightness. And then I forgot we should have a delay in here at the very bottom that affects all of these things. Now, see if you made any mistakes. Delay, okay, this needs a semicolon. And now our second button should work. And if you press it, you should see it fading up and down. Okay, now when you let it go, it just stops wherever you let it go. So what if we want it to actually go back down to nothing? We can say else analog right LED, and then you say 0. Okay, and if you did that, you should have seen your LED just go automatically to 0 whenever you press anything, whenever you let go of anything. Okay, so this example was taking two buttons, making them change the program from one state to another state. So either make the LED fade up and down with one button, or another button allows the LED to be controlled by the potentiometer. Okay, so this is with momentary buttons where you click your finger once and then let go. We can imagine maybe you click the button once and then the first one happens and you click it a second time and then the second one happens. That's maybe how you would do it with one button. But this is how you can do it with two buttons. Okay, that's all for now.